Today we're going to be discussing integers and absolute value. And as you can see, integers are opposites of whole numbers and zero. Integers can be represented on a number line. The origin is considered zero. Positives then are to the right of zero, and negatives are to the left of zero. So we're going to discuss absolute value. You do absolute value on a number line, and really, all the absolute value of a number, it's the distance that that number is from zero on a number line. So the absolute value symbol can be represented by two bars. And let's go ahead and draw that in the blank, and then you're going to fill out your number line on your sheet to look exactly like mine. Let's make our number line today from -5 up to 7. And you're going to see I have 3 examples that you're going to write as well. I've got the absolute value of -3, I've got the absolute value of 0, and I also have the absolute value of 5. Since absolute value is distance and how far something is, distance can't be negative. Distance is a positive, tangible thing that we can count. We always start at 0. That's why we call it the origin. It's where we originate. And then we count to the specified number in the absolute value symbol. So in my first example, the absolute value of -3 is 3, because if I start at 0, it will take me 3 steps to get to -3. The absolute value of 0 is simply 0 because I stay at the origin. And then the absolute value of 5 is going to be 5 because if I start at 0 and count up to 5, count 5 spaces up, it's going to give me an absolute value of 5. So what we're going to see this year is expressions that involve absolute value. So as you can see, the absolute value of -7 is 7 because that's 7 steps away from 0. In an expression like 5 plus the absolute value of -6, we take the absolute value first. The absolute value of -6 is 6. And then we do our addition. 5 plus 6 is 11. The absolute value of 14 is 14. Remember, this is counting, so this is not the inverse. This is how far away from 0 we are, and 14 is 14 steps from 0. The absolute value of -9 is 9, and 9 plus 3 is 12. The absolute value of -8 is 8. The absolute value of -2 is 2. And 8 minus 2 is 6. Sometimes you're going to be given numeric expressions involving absolute value. And when you are given absolute value in expressions, we are going to use the order of operations to simplify. So we treat absolute value as grouping symbols. We treat them kind of like parentheses, where we're going to do everything inside the absolute value first. Then we'll do our exponents, then we'll multiply or divide from left to right as our third step, and then we'll add or subtract as our fourth step if it appears in the expression. So inside our absolute value symbols, I see 3 to the 4th power and 9 to the 2nd power. So since I have exponents and subtraction inside my grouping, I'm going to simplify my exponents first. 81 for 3 to the 4th and 9 squared gives me 81. Now, the absolute value is still grouping that together, so I need to treat it like I would parentheses. I'm going to subtract those two. And 81 minus 81 is 0. And then my last step to get rid of those absolute value symbols and get rid of my grouping is going to be to take the absolute value of 0. And the absolute value of 0 is 0. And my last step to simplify will be to add. And 0 and 5 give me 5. Remember, absolute value, treat them like parentheses. You're going to do that first. So I'm going to do 5 minus 6, which gives me -1. Then I still see that absolute value, so I need to get rid of that. The absolute value of -1 is 1. Now I have division and subtraction. So division comes before subtraction in order of operations. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 3 minus 1 is 2.